All right. Okay. So, um, hello, Stella. How are you today?
Hi,
Maybe
I'm
you can
good.
maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit. Let's do this as chilled as possible
Yeah.
because every time you go on LinkedIn, you see all of those webinars with oh dun, 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 dun. Let's be kind of you sitting in New York, I'm sitting where am I? I'm in Germany in Leipzig. It's summer, it's beautiful weather. I hope you're having a beautiful weather in New York as well.
Yeah.
So let's do this business, but let's do this chill in a nice way, so people have a pleasant listening, maybe whilst driving or whilst cooking dinner or something like this.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Stella, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Well, nice to have this time with you. I'm Stella. I'm from Alibaba.com. I've been with this company for nearly 7 years, and that's basically the only job I've done so far. So I've been working in China for 7 years, and I'm pretty new to New York. And in the past, I've connected with over 1,000 factories in China. That's why I'm really familiar with all the sourcing tips and the sourcing issues you may encounter. So here today, I'm willing to offer some tips and how it's helpful for your sourcing journey.
Okay.
Mhm.
Before we jump into the tips and the sourcing journey and stuff like this, again, let's be more on a personal level, right? Because a lot of people like, oh, you
Okay.
mentioned you've got in touch with over 1,000 factories. Why
Yeah,
did you get in touch with over 1,000 factories? What was the reason for it?
because we are Alibaba.com, we have over 200,000 suppliers, and most of them are factories. And our job is to promote these factories and sellers and to get them to be exposed to more global buyers. And that's why I need to learn more about their factories and try to know every detail of their producing and put their useful info online and to get more traffic, to get notice from buyers, and also at the meantime to help buyers find their suitable sellers.
You see, now that is interesting. I know for a fact, maybe a lot of people actually don't, that Alibaba.com has not only Chinese manufacturers on the platform, but
Mhm.
you guys actually have a lot of foreign manufacturers on the platform as well.
Yeah.
Have you been in charge of only getting in touch with Chinese manufacturers, or did you have the opportunity to talk to the manufacturers outside of China as well?
Actually, I in charge of all the S level promotions on Alibaba.com. So it's like the biggest promotions on the website. And in this kind of promotion, I will connect to all the global sellers, not only Chinese sellers. But we do have the team members talk to the sellers from other countries specifically. That's not me, but we have team members do so.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And okay, even if you can't answer this question honestly, we will see this in your eyes. Do you
Mhm.
like to work for Alibaba.com?
Yeah, of course. That's why I choose to work here. Always
For
my
7 years?
for 7 years. I didn't change. There's
Wow.
lots of
Okay.
invitations from externals, but I rejected.
Can I ask you how old you are, if you don't mind? If you mind, that's okay. You don't need to tell me.
I just turned 18 this year.
Oh, so lucky. I just turned 36 last month. But I feel like, because I spent so much time living in Asia, I feel I'm going to be like a Chinese lady who hopefully looks like this up until the
Mhm.
age of 65. And then at 65, I will look like I'm 90. But I'm fine with that. I'm married, so yeah,
Oh, you
not
look
going
20.
far.
You look 20.
Oh, thank you. It's the camera. It's of very bad quality. So
That's a
hence it
beautiful
kind
color.
of all right. So Stella, it's so we are not just having um I mean, every employee, every team member in any company is extremely important, especially when you come to such a company as Alibaba, because you guys are so huge. You have so many different cogs in so many different countries, and you're trying to do so many different things. not only, for example, you are doing sourcing, but you're providing other services, or not sourcing, but help to find the manufacturers, but you provide other services within your platform. Like you have the RFQ, you have the Smart Assistant that you guys launched at the Co-Create event in Las Vegas last year, right? And this year, you're also going to have a Las Vegas event, obviously, because it was successful last year. But it's important for us to understand what exactly do you do in a company, and what can you tell us a little bit more about today about Alibaba, and something that can be helpful to a person who is a beginner, or a person who has been using Alibaba before, but you guys are bringing out so much innovation that we need to keep people updated on how to use that innovation as well. So
Yeah.
Stella, can you please introduce yourself a little bit more? What do you do in Alibaba, and what can you share? What kind of useful info and tips can you share with us today?
I work for the marketing team in Alibaba.com, and actually, my role is to get more people to know more about Alibaba.com. That is one line summary, but there's a lot of work behind this line. I need to go deep to all the products, tools, all the latest techs in our company, and then I need to combat them and try to find the proper targeting audiences and let them to know more about Alibaba.com. That's the one part. And for the other side, for people, especially for the professional buyers or for people who just start their business, if they want to know, try to use Alibaba.com, or try to find a good way to improve their sourcing efficiency on Alibaba.com, I will be the one to help them to get the best views of the platform.
Okay, cool. So I actually have tons of people that I can potentially connect to you, but that's a different story. All right. I think you have some presentation that you want to share with us, and we can talk a little bit back and forth with that.
Yeah,
So
of
you can
course.
go ahead.
Yeah, and especially for this webinar today, I know for Dignify, there are lots of people registered for this webinar, but since they do not have time to listen to the live, so that's why I still prepare the dedicated deck for the audiences, and also with the gift. It's like the free gift we provide for the audience today. So if you are not in this live, try to listen to this webinar as quick as possible.
Don't worry, we'll put it up. Free gift from Alibaba. 500 people or 1,000 directly. Yes, 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 yes. You know how this works.
All right, so let's start.
Yes, let's.
I will start from sharing my screen here. Oh,
Cool.
can you say it now?
I see it. It's a very beautiful starter page with Alibaba.com. It's interesting. Everybody from Alibaba always says Alibaba.com. I understand it's a brand and you got to keep it this way. But everybody who doesn't work in Alibaba, we just say Alibaba. So
No, that's not only a brand, because if you say Alibaba, that's a giant group that includes 20 or 30 something of business units inside, and Alibaba.com is just one of them.
you see, this is a wonderful information that most of the people wouldn't even know. And
Yeah.
when you explain this, it's like, huh, oh my God, it's a huge business group. What other businesses do you guys have? What other businesses can be complementary to Alibaba.com when I'm using it? This is a separate webinar we need to do about the other services you guys provide. All right, the floor is yours. I hope it's okay if I'm gonna maybe sometimes not interrupt you, but ask you questions in between, so it's more lively. Is that okay with you, or do you
Yeah.
prefer to go through?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So.
Stella,
Mhm.
Los Gates.
All
Jayo,
right.
jayo.
Jayo. Let's just start. Okay, so today I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about Alibaba.com and how to source and our latest tech and what is the best way to build this platform. Let's start from what is Alibaba.com. I guess lots of people already familiar with Alibaba Group. But speaking of Alibaba.com, I just want to add more info here. We are founded in 1999 and up to now we have over 25 years of history. And today we got over 40 million active business buyers on the platform. And also, like I mentioned before, we have over 200,000 active sellers on the platform as well. So we have buyers, we have sellers, and that's why
You
we
mean
have.
supply by
Oh,
sellers? You mean suppliers, right?
yes.
The 200,000, is that the verified suppliers, or because
Oh,
I
that's a
think
total number. That's a total number.
okay, got it.
And
Sorry,
that's
got
the
it.
total number, including all the Chinese suppliers and all the global suppliers.
Okay, cool.
And we have lots of products, 200 million products, which means everything.
I love going to China. I'm in China at least twice a year because we have a Canton Fair sourcing trip,
Mm-hmm.
and I just go to one of your businesses to
Mm-hmm.
go and spend my hard-earned money. I go on Taobao and I buy and I buy and I buy. And
Yeah.
I last time I had about 18 parcels come into my hotel. So I
Mm-hmm.
am good. Even my personal business is good for your other businesses. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's pretty common because every time I go back to China, I will also order a lot from the Taobao. Every time I will receive over 14 parcels, and that's the stuff I'm gonna bring back to the States.
Oh. All right,
Mhm.
so more than 200 million different products. This includes China and outside, and
Yeah.
5,900 categories. All right, that's a lot. Those are some big numbers. Are
Okay.
you guys trying to hit any certain number in terms of, do you have any goals in terms of how many manufacturers, active suppliers you want to have on the platform in the next few years?
We've already, I mean, this is the numbers we can open to public right now, but speaking
Okay,
of the goals, we will not mention it.
yeah, okay, okay, not a problem.
Okay, and then let's move on to the top categories. Although I said we have over 5,900 categories, but among most of them, we have over these 8 categories, which are the top categories, especially in the States. And just like you can look at this and as a reference, because on these categories, we have abundant of products for you to choose from. And speaking of the countries of the suppliers, because I've said we have global supply. Speaking of
Yeah.
global supply, most of them are definitely made in China, but besides that, we have lots of other country supplies. And for instance, speaking of the food and the beverage and agriculture,
Mhm.
US is actually the first market of sellers here. And for the
Okay.
beauty, yeah, and for the beauty and personal care, we have sellers from South Korea and Italy. They are really good at that.
I'm surprised that Japan is not in the beauty and the personal care section, but you have
Mm-hmm.
it in agri. I mean, Japan is also agriculture and food and beverages. Absolutely. Is there any one country other than China that you think will continue to grow really, really fast out of the ones that you currently have on the slides?
Besides China, we will focus more on the Europe and the States.
Mhm.
So we will not mention the single particular country because for Europe it's like a scope of lots of countries. So Europe is our also one of our most important
Yeah,
market.
and I know that Alibaba is a part owner in WLW.de and Europages. You guys became partners, I think, this year, which
Hmm.
are basically like local Alibaba, let's call them Alibaba.com platforms, which have a lot of local suppliers. It's just it's a little bit harder to encourage them to join the platform. They're not as eager as the Chinese. I know this. We're a
Hmm.
sourcing company, so we communicate. I have a list of more than 50,000 active manufacturers across the globe that,
Hmm.
like, who are in our database.
Hmm.
So it's very, very hard. So, but if anybody can do this and unite one platform in Europe, this will definitely be Alibaba.com. Uh, Tell me on top 20 buyers
Hmm.
and distribution by country. I still see that United States is still number one country in terms
Yeah,
of
of
where
course.
the buyers
It's
come
not
from.
only the first, it's like the dominant ones because we've been here. The reason why we are founded because that on the year 1999, the founder go to States and found there's a strong demand from the buyers here. That's why he founded the company at that year. So there's a history reason behind, and also speaking of the economic side, the definitely US is our first market. But we do see the growth, especially the rapid growth from the
Yep.
North America and the Southeast Asia. So there is a growth in some new markets.
Because for me the big scare is, we have what we call in the industry the Trump tax,
Yeah.
right? The up to 25% tax. From August 1st there is the Biden tax on certain products, bigger things, but there is. And if Trump wins the elections, he said he will impose even more taxes on the products that will come from China. Is there any way that you're trying to assist the buyers and that you're trying to assist the manufacturers in those situations? Others like is because everybody's scared. This is what people come to us. They say we want to buy from China. Our manufacturer is amazing, but if they're gonna start imposing a 25% tax, we don't know what to do. So, what would your is Alibaba.com doing anything about this? Are you guys trying to, I don't know, negotiate with the government or something like this?
Well, I think speaking of the politics, let's just wait and see. I will not disclose too much on this topic.
Oh, I can understand that. Look, I had to ask, right? You don't need to answer, but I have, and this is my job is not only to do product sourcing, but my job is to give the feedback of the community and of the society. We
Yes.
work with thousands and thousands and thousands of people who sell on Amazon e-commerce retail, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them are scared and
Mm-hmm.
they're asking questions, right? How can Alibaba help us in the future?
Mm-hmm.
I see that our company is registered in Singapore, so I see number 19 country in terms of buyer distribution is Singapore. I'm very happy to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Russia, my home country, is also there. That's quite wonderful. Philippines, Germany, my current country where I live, also isn't there. Hooray! And I see Australia has a very, very big demand as well. That's wonderful. It's great to see such a huge balance from across the globe. Cool. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue. The
Yeah.
floor is yours.
You're really a good reader. There are not too many people reading the chart so closely.
You took the time, or your team members took the time to put this information together. This makes it the most important information that Alibaba.com wants people to see.
Yeah,
So, just to be respectful, I need to understand everything that's in there. It's as simple as that.
great. Thank you. And speaking of who we exist for, like I said, we have lots of products, lots of sellers, and who we serve for.
Mhm.
So, general speaking, we serve all the business buyers. It doesn't matter about their business scale.
Yep.
Then can be really big and professional pro buyers, but then can also be people who are even consumers but want to start their business because everybody start from one idea. So we do also welcome that. So from our data, we have now our buyers, then can be wholesalers, can be retailers, due to our top were our main buyers right now, but we do see the growth of online business owners and service providers as well.
Have you seen an increase in like smaller businesses
Yeah,
since the corona has started?
yeah, sure.
And have you recently seen a drop in this, or is it still growing that people want to have their own business?
It is still growing, especially in the States, because everybody here is want to have their small or they want to have their own business. They want to work for somebody else. This phenomenon is especially popular here. That's why we can see the growth in the States for the small business.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how long? let's take an example. I have a girl, she lives in New York. She wants to start a business. She would like to sell T-shirts,
Mhm.
right? She would like to find and when she sells a T-shirt, she would like to give some jewelry as a present as well. Some like I have some Chinese wealth management jewelry that's supposed to bring wealth. So let's say we have this girl. So how long will the process for her on average take from finding Alibaba.com
Mhm.
to actually receiving the products kind of in her own hands?
That's a very good question. That's also the part I'm gonna talk about in the last few pages. Because we see the growth of the online business owner, especially the smaller scale. That's why we launched our really new business or service that's called Alibaba Guaranteed. And this service is tailored for the girls you mentioned.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Then let's continue and we'll get to that. I have that question in mind to make sure you don't escape it.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. And
Hey,
after
sorry.
Yeah, and after the really broad description of what we are doing right now, I'm gonna to take a few pages to let you know the growth of the specific category. The reason why I bring jewelry here because right now I'm in New York. I found the category of jewelry is really popular here. Every time I go to the offline market, there's lots of vendors. They are selling. They are only sells the jewelry. So I
Mhm.
can also see the growth from the data side and the buyer growth, no matter it's from the users, the unique visitors side, or it's from the orders volume, that's GMV part, then all grows really rapidly within last year. And I also checked the data, and from the marketing share, the states is definitely our top one in the jewelry category. People here really love jewelry.
They do, right? The question is, can because where you go, like in New York, you go some places like we were talking about Chelsea before, or some other like hipster locations. You will
Mhm.
have a lot of little stores, let's say, that
Yeah.
also sell kind of handmade things.
Mhm.
But I mean, it really is showing that people are interested, but growth on Alibaba.com, this is tremendous, right? Year on year, 9.8% and 13.8%. This is a lot. The question is, can the manufacturers that you have on the platform match the level of creativity
Mhm.
that people require?
Mhm.
Do you usually give some suggestions to the manufacturers on what other products they can potentially launch to do better to attract more customers?
Yeah, for sure. Because here I can see lots of the jewels they are customized. Then are they are created based on the ideas from the buyers, and even some of the store owners they just source the materials from
Yeah.
website and then they combine together by themselves. So that's all the stuff popular here, and from the seller part, it's like the mutual growth between the seller and the buyer. Every time they receive a new order from the buyer, they learned, oh, there is a trend in this market, and next
Mhm.
time I can do updates based on these kind of inquiries.
Okay. But does Alibaba.com
Yeah,
provide any market research? I see, this is great. And people
yeah,
don't know about this,
yeah,
right?
and okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying that on a lot of occasions, you have some sellers who, for example, will repost some manufacturers on Alibaba.com who might repost some like post like this is a top selling product on Amazon or something like this, which is perfectly fine. But
Mhm.
it's very great to hear that Alibaba.com collects information also in terms of market trend research that drives the manufacturers towards the right way and the right products that they can produce and present to your potential buyers. This is
Yeah.
great because a lot of people are thinking, oh, they're just copying or something. No, they're not. They're actually innovating and exploring new opportunities. Really cool. Okay, more earrings and loose gemstones. So people just buy gemstones and then they make the jewelry on their own, right? I mean, in large scale.
Yes, and for this page, you can see the hot search words and the popular products this month. All the data they are collected from our buyer side. This buyer's data, then do the search on the platform, and we will also do the we will also combine all the data and share the parts can be open to the sellers and then can update or then can improve their products based on buyers' general feedback.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I need to start selling silver jewelry because
Mm-hmm.
I see no gold in the hot search terms. It's only 925 silver. So
Yeah.
okay, I honestly prefer silver to gold. Okay,
Mm.
great. This is wonderful to know.
Okay.
Earrings,
And
cool.
yeah. And also loose gemstones is very popular recently. Every time I see the vendors, their top sellers are the homemade gemstones necklaces or bracelets.
So people are kind of trending towards more unique
Yeah.
items. Everybody wants something unique rather than mass produced, right?
Especially for the jewelry part.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
All right, let's move on to the packaging.
Hmm.
Here the reason I put packaging on the deck is because no matter which industry you're in, packaging is the factor you need to consider about. So especially in the jewelry category,
Yeah.
packaging is the one can add more value to your product. So speaking of packaging, right now we have over 9,000 packaging suppliers that provide the plastic, paper, and the glass packaging, everything together. And packaging is a category really should be really focused on the services. So that's why we have the very fast suppliers and then provide the very low MQ customization because you want to see how the pattern looks like in 10 or 15 bags instead of
Of course.
1,000 bags. That's why that the service we provide right now. And speaking of how to find the jewelry and packaging on
Hmm.
Alibaba.com, I prepare a very simple page.
Cool.
There's a lots of ways to do searching and sourcing on Alibaba.com, but you can find it out later by yourself. But if you are really new to this platform, there's really two easy way. The first way, if you are really clear about what you are looking for, just type the keywords. It's like a Google search. You type the thing you want to look for, and then just compare the different products. That's very easy, just like Amazon. But if you are not very clear about what you are looking for, or your inquiry is a little bit complicated, you can click the request for quotation here, and then it will be led to a page. And it's not just like a form. You can fill in the things you want to find, and then there will be sellers give you feedback based on your inquiries. So it's like a very simple two ways of working on Alibaba.com.
I love it. If you don't mind me adding two things. First thing, one of the other ways I love
Mm-hmm.
to search on Alibaba.com is by taking a photo or uploading the
Yeah,
photo,
sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very easy. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like the third very easy option.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I want to mention to people,
Mm-hmm.
and this is public information from Alibaba.com. So I'm not opening any, well, actually, most of the people don't know this. But
Mhm,
back in the day, so I have first started working with Alibaba.com in 2011.
mhm,
When I used to live in Shanghai, I used to work for a trading company, and Alibaba came to train me on how to create a store on Alibaba.com as a supplier, etc., etc., right? Because we were searching for customers.
mhm,
And we would find people who submitted RFQs, and we would submit the offers, right?
mhm,
A lot of people don't understand right now that when suppliers on Alibaba.com are submitting an offer on or your RFQ, after a certain point, they will have to pay
yeah,
for every submission that they make.
yeah,
Most of the people who buy on Alibaba.com, they don't know about this. So they're like, oh, these guys, they just submit like 100, 200 offers per day. No, They
Mm-hmm.
need to be selective, because
Yeah.
if you're paying 20 RMB per submission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what, like, I forgot, 20
$2.
RMB, like $4 or something like this, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you even submit 100 offers per day, that's $400. Multiply this by 30 if you're submitting every day. This is a lot of money,
Yeah.
right? So people need to understand that when you're submitting an RFQ right now, you guys have elevated the quality of the RFQ,
Mm-hmm.
because the manufacturers need to pay to submit it and they don't want to waste the money.
Yeah.
So you will receive fewer offers, but they will be better quality. At
Yeah.
least this is the current experience that we have been getting. So
Mm-hmm.
this is something I really wanted to thank Alibaba for doing, because it's a really good thing. Because on a lot of occasions, back in the day, you submit an RFQ with every single detail, with everything,
Mm-hmm.
and the person answers to you, "Hello, how can I help you?" I'm like, seriously? Really? Really?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Sorry, move to the next slide. Let's go.
That's a good point. And image search is a tool for me personally. I will frequently use, and I will also elaborate more details on that part. And for FQ, we do have the AI assisted FQ, and which makes you much more easier to fill in the form. So it's more like a auto generated form. I will also share more info later.
Yep.
Okay, and speaking of our motto or the all-in goal of Alibaba.com, I would say that our mission is to make global sourcing simplified. Because speaking of global sourcing, lots of people will see there's lots of concerns in the process. There's lots of
Yep.
things to be afraid of, and for the platform, our goal is to simplify every process. That's why we simplify all the steps in the middle from search to RFQ to the communication, because we are in different countries and it's hard to build trust without meeting each other. That's why we have to use different tools and to get people connected. And speaking of the magical image search, I will take a few more minutes to tell you how to make full use of the image search, because that's a little bit different from the other platform. Let's use the photo of the jewelry as an example, and you can use the small camera here. That's common because that's a place where all the platform have image search. And
Correct.
once you click the button here, you will be led to a page of all the related products. And in this step, you can use the filters and also the columns here. You can choose which are the product are you exactly looking for, because back then we have the combination of different
Mhm.
products. So you in this page, there's a chance for you to select from the one you are looking for,
That
and
is cool.
after that, there's a small button here, and once you click it, the magical part is you can even add text here. So it's just like a AI tool, and it's like a text prompt together with the image result in the
Hmm.
last step. And by the image and the text here, there will be a more accurate result of what you are looking for. So this way, it makes it much more easier for you to even to revise your product or your result, because every time you take a photo of the product, you think this product is good, but you do not want to create or you do not want to sell the exactly the same product. You want to have something unique or special, or to put it combined with your personal thoughts. So this is a
Yep.
way for you to add a little bit more idea personally.
I like it. I mean, the AI is in its infancy right now, but it's already given so many changes,
Hmm.
and it making a lot of people's lives easier, especially smaller businesses, because
Yeah.
for them now they need to spend less time on it can be a one-man show managing many different businesses with AI, and Alibaba is no different. So yeah, guys, I mean, and you are in China, you're a Chinese company, and of course you're investing heavily in the AI, and this is public knowledge. Again, you can go on Bloomberg or anywhere else and see how much Alibaba is investing in the AI. So yeah, I'm quite certain this is just the beginning, and we're gonna see a lot more, which is
Yeah,
pretty cool. Scary, but
yeah.
cool.
And every time I went to the offline store here, and I will use image search, that's a very good way for to source for the similar products, but with lower price.
Yeah, that's for sure is true. For
Yeah.
me, you know, every time I come to China, for like, I'm a seller myself, right? We sell online for and offline for more than 10 years,
Hmm.
and the place where I find product, like I find the manufacturers on Alibaba or on 1688, which is your sister company, which is located in the same building in Hangzhou, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I was at your office last time again in May in Hangzhou,
Hmm.
and yeah, I go on Taobao again, your sister company. I go there for the product ideas, because on the Chinese market, some of the products, like, it's like you will never see anything like this in Europe and nowhere. So I go on Taobao, I just keep scroll. Oh, found it. I go on Alibaba or on 1688. Oh, found it. Okay, boom, order, sample, ship, done. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very good ecosystem that you kind of guys are creating all together.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay, then let's move on to our request for quotation.
Hmm.
Because we know that it's easy or it's good to write a form and invite the sellers to get quote, but but just by imagination, you also it's a lot of effort. It's like writing an essay. But right now we are looking at much more simpler. Let's say you are looking for a winter tent. That's a keyword, and you can change this word to anything you want to looking for. And here we do have the AI support here, and which helps you generate the form. It's like a default version. We created based on the multiple feedback from buyers, and that's most of the case people want to ask about the winter tent. But you can still revise everything here. Let's say you want to update the fabric to the
Yep.
cotton fiber you are looking for. You just revise, delete, and type the new one here, and then we do have the trick here that's called generate images, because even you have this essay created, but it also takes a little bit more time and efforts for the sellers to understand what you are looking for, what are the details exactly looks like. So
Hmm.
we have the generate images, and just wait for a few seconds. You can see we do have the related photos generated. And every time we show you 4 images, but you can refresh for the new ones. And we have the 12 images for you to choose from for each of the quotation. And
That is
yeah,
cool.
and which is very good and also efficient for you to communicate with the sellers. Saves a lot of time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Question. Because you're showing, like in your presentation, you're showing that this is all done on a smartphone, right? Basically.
Yeah.
So, question. When you're doing this RFQ with the smart assistant,
Mhm.
do you need to type everything in, or do you have a speech to text there as well?
Just like I said, I we do. There's no need for you to type
No, no,
everything.
no, no. When
Mhm.
you're generating. So if you go back, so
Mhm.
when you were typing in your request, you were
Mhm.
typing in winter tent,
I mean,
single.
this whole
For,
passage is generated based on the keyword. It's automatically written, not by yourself.
no, no, no. When you input the original information,
Mm-hmm. Here,
yeah, before that, right?
here.
Here,
Mm-hmm.
winter tent for mountaineering under 2 kg. Do
Mm-hmm.
I have to type this, or do you have speech to text?
Oh, right now you need to type. That's the only place you need to type.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so my suggestion to you, because
Mm-hmm.
people are freaking lazy, or or let's the other word for lazy can be efficient. People are very efficient, so I guarantee you one of the next steps for you guys is
Mm-hmm.
going to be speech to text. So instead
Okay.
of typing
Mm-hmm.
winter 10 for mountaineering, they
Mm-hmm.
will just speak, right, like we
Mm-hmm.
speak on WhatsApp or some other, and it will generate the text. So if you don't have that, you can propose it to your colleagues in China. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you they will like it. And when they implement it, I don't need any credit. It's okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you for advice.
Oh,
Well,
no problem. Look, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a person who runs a sourcing company, but
yeah.
also from the perspective of a person who is a seller,
Mm-hmm.
right? And who uses many tools and who works, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, many hours a day and who needs things efficiently. But this is really cool. And that it does images as well, like generated on request. That is already next level. That is quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the image generation ability for the buyer side. And also, we do have the ability, the AI tools for sellers. So for sellers, if they want to upload a new or want to list it, a new product, then do have the AI assistant for them to do the description, to do the images all at once. So that really improve their efficiency because every day they need to list a lot of products.
Absolutely. I mean, before it was such a problem, even when I worked, right, with Alibaba in 2011, you
Mm-hmm.
needed to take a photo,
Yeah.
and in order to take a photo from your camera to your not laptop, but to your desktop computer or maybe to your laptop, it was a different time, right? Not like now within like a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So this is even further. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What else you got for us?
And what else? We do have the smart assistant that's called you can imagine it as the GPT inside Alibaba.com. So it's like your
Uh-huh.
personal assistant who can help you save lots of time because every time when you are doing sourcing, there is you will talk to different sellers and but at the very end you need to make a decision. So for the smart assistant, these two can help you do the compare. It's just like the one feature of the two of these smart assistant, but it's like a tools during your communication with different sellers. You can ask these two or assistant to help you do multiple tasks, and this one is like do the comparison with different sellers, and it's not like a wording, it's like a form, it's like a chart. So this will makes your work much more easier and can save your time to find the best ones.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
I love this. This is a really cool feature. We've been testing this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, for now and there you have some glitches, but I mean, in comparison to what it gives, that's wow.
Mm-hmm.
One thing has nothing to do with the functionality of the smart assistant, but I wish Alibaba.com would have named the smart assistant,
Mm-hmm.
not the smart assistant, but something like Bob or Kevin or
Okay.
something like, because people have it's like building a relationship. When I am talking to, like, I am even nice to my washing
Oh,
machine,
we do
right?
have we have a name for it. That's Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
You don't
Better
like
than smart
Anna?
assistant, but I like Bob. I don't know why, but I like Bob. But I because for me as a person, right? I was born in the 80s. There were no phone, no cell phones, no internet, and we are where we are now. And I have, for example, I have a washing machine of a Chinese brand, for example, in my house. It doesn't matter which brand, China, no China, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a smart washing machine. So I am even nice to my washing machine,
Yeah.
like what? Because, one day it's going to be like Terminator. They're going to take over the world. So I was nice to my washing machine and my toaster. So they're going to, not kill me or something. So you kind of, my mom always named her cars. I have
Okay.
a motorcycle. I named my motorcycle, my laptop. People, they get attached to those things. So I feel if the smart assistant actually has a name,
Mm-hmm.
people will have even higher level of trust
Mm-hmm.
towards it, because they feel like it's a human on the other side, even though you know it's not, but you
Mhm.
still feel it, right?
Okay,
So
good. Yeah, well received.
that's just a Terminator. I'm just afraid of again, Terminator 80s, 90s. So yeah.
All right. And then I guess this is the last thing I want to share today. That's called
Cool.
Alibaba Guarantee. And also that's
Hmm.
the topic, the question you brought at the very beginning, and I
Yep.
will not escape. I will answer right now. That's Alibaba Guarantee. And what do you mean by Alibaba Guarantee? Alibaba Guarantee is a service we launched, I guess, 1 month earlier. And the reason why we launched this service because we see the growth of small business. And for Alibaba Guarantee, we have the goal. It's like we want to make global sourcing as easy as online shopping. So like as easy as you buy a pair of shoes on Amazon. And for Alibaba Guarantee, we guarantee three aspects. The first one, we do have the fixed prices, and you do not need to talk with different sellers and negotiating for the best price. We have the product price here, we have the shipping price included in this product price, and we have the guaranteed delivery date here. And what if you have any concerns or questions when you receive the parcel, and you can always ask for the money back guarantee. That's all. The three aspects basically covers all the questions you may encounter in the sourcing journey. So I think, or we think, by this service, lots of small business buyers can benefit from it.
Okay, I have a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
First, can a person, I'm a small buyer,
Mm-hmm.
again, like you have hoodies there, perfect example. I want to customize them. Can I
Mm-hmm.
customize the 10
Yeah,
pieces?
that's a very good question. Right now, for Alibaba Guarantee, we have two services provided. The first one is in stock, you can buy directly. The next one is customizable. You can still do customization on these Alibaba Guarantee products, and also always guaranteed by Alibaba.
Okay, but I assume if you're doing customization, the MOQs will be a little bit higher.
And even for the customization for the product within this Alibaba Guarantee label, the MOQ will be even lower than the normal Alibaba products. Because the reason we created this service, we know that people want buy lots of stuff at the very first order. So all the
Mm-hmm.
minimum orders are pretty low here.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, will I know who the manufacturer is?
Yeah, for sure. Once you click the product card here, you'll be led to the page of the product details. And on that page, you can see all the info of the sellers.
Mm-hmm. So if I want to, I can easily get in touch with them and, for
Yeah,
example, say, okay, so you're also guaranteeing basically the quality. How do you make sure that the quality will be there? Will there be a quality control done by Alibaba, or how do you make sure that the quality will be there?
there's like two ways for we to guarantee the quality. First one for the sellers. If they want to join this Alibaba guarantee service, we do have the quality inspection for the sellers, because right now it's not all the products on Alibaba.com can join this service. We
Mhm.
covered over 2 million products right now. That's a small portion of the general products we have. And secondly, once the buyer receives your products and just just personally and do not think this product meets their demand or the quality is not so good, then can collect the proof and submit to the platform, and we can cover the money back.
Okay, but I think the problem here is like what a lot of people are, not a lot, but what people are facing, right?
Mhm,
I wanted to launch a product. You guys guaranteed the quality came and the
mhm,
quality is bad. So I
mhm,
don't want the money back. I want the product, and I want the product right now because I want to start selling.
mhm,
So is there an option of, like, I received this 10 hoodies and
mhm,
they're of not
mhm,
quality. I send you the proof.
mhm,
I don't want money
mhm,
back. I want the hoodies.
mhm.
Can you redo the order and send them again?
Yeah, sure. It's like the option of money back. Some people want get the money back. Some people want get the product back.
Okay. One important thing also, the 10 hoodies that I originally received and they're of bad quality.
Mhm.
I don't need them, right? They're of bad quality.
Mhm.
I need to send them back. Do I need to destroy them? What do I do with the bad stock?
This like a case by case. You need to talk with the seller. Speaking of the return policy, but most of the
Mhm.
time you don't need to return the product directly to China because the shipping will be too expensive. And we do have the local stock. So speaking of the return, some of the products can be returned to the local stock warehouse.
Okay, so you see, this is a very interesting point. So you have local stock, let's say you have
Hmm.
warehouses in United States
Yeah.
where you keep certain products, right?
Hmm.
And that you are basically, you have this hoodie, but I want my print on it, right? And you can do it directly in US and send it from US to the customer, right?
If the customization is too complicated, that cannot
Then
be
it's
done
China.
in
Yeah.
this. Yes, if it is not the complicated customization, then it's okay.
Okay, that's wonderful. And do you know how many different types of what is the number of products, different products that you were keeping in the United States?
Oh, you mean the local stock?
Yeah, like number of SKUs. How
Oh,
many different SKUs you got?
we cannot disclose that
Okay.
because yeah, because the local stock is the service we are focusing on this year, and the products of the local stock will not be too huge like the general Alibaba products, because
Yeah,
we need to make sure all the products here in the local warehouse then are best selling, then will not be in the warehouse forever.
of
So
course.
only the best sellers can be in the warehouse.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. I like this. This is
Mhm.
wonderful. I think for people who are absolute beginners in the business
Mhm.
and who would like to test something out, I think this can be really really great for them. I like that very much.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And this is the very last page of my sharing today. And because we just talked a little bit more about Alibaba Guaranteed and it's a new
Mhm.
service. So for new service, we have discounts or benefits for new buyers.
Yeah.
And today I bring this. It's like a three-in-one magnetic foldable wireless charger, and it's a best selling in our consumer electronics category this week. That's why I bring today, and with a very
Cool.
good price. That's $1. But you need to remember to get the coupon here. And
Coupon.
yeah, and the coupon only valid for 2 days.
Stella, you're giving us stuff for free. Why?
Yeah.
I know
Because
why, but why?
yeah, I know because I we want to invite more people to have a try on Alibaba.com because it takes time to build the trust.
Oh
So
yeah.
once there is some beneficial or there's some selling points or there's some products really attracting, there's a there's a reason for people to try.
Okay. That's actually really cool. We don't have time for anything from my side, but honestly, we don't have to because it's really interesting to talk to you. You have so much information. I'm
Mhm.
trying to pull out something that you can't disclose, but you can't disclose, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
fair to you as well.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I think, look, in general, you gave us tons of different information. It's really, really useful. And I think what we're gonna do when we're gonna post this video on all of the platforms and things like this, one of the things we're actually gonna do is I'm gonna create a video, like,
Mhm.
because you showed it really nicely in the slides, but I'm also going to create a video of when, for example, we're searching an actual product and
Okay.
how long it will take from the
Okay.
moment. You know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have whether Series or Mercy do it because they don't have that experience, and we can test it on them, and we can make a video and see how long does it take for person who has never used alibaba.com to
Mhm.
find a product and to find a manufacturer that they're searching from. And I think this can be really really, a cool test, and can be really useful. Stella, thank you so much. Do you have any questions for
Yeah,
me? Because I know I've been asking. I mean, it's kind of my job today to ask you questions today, but
yeah.
still, maybe you have anything for me.
My last question is after this webinar, once you are creating the materials for promotion, I need to check it before you online it.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Series, Mercy, we can stop the recording. That's okay.